The Jets were flying high all off season. Have they officially crashed and burned? Josh Allen clearly sucks. Jordan Love is the Hall of Famer. I always knew he would be. Deon Sanders, could he be in trouble? And who are the dumbest fans in all of college football? Coming up on Sports Talk with Dad. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Sports Talk with Dad. As always, my name is Kyle, and I cannot call this Sports Talk with Dad without the man sitting next to me, a man who should never be allowed in the studio by himself ever again. My dad, Tim.
Were you trying to alienate every one of our fans with that opening?
It's the greatest opening we ever had, and it's complete truth. Everything I said is truth, and we're going to get to all of that.
It's not all
before
true.
You tell them what you did. What did you do to my studio?
I tried to get that logo to show. That's all I was trying to do.
I come in here. So he's doing NFL morning.
NFL Sunday morning.
NFL Sunday morning show. Great show. Great guys. You did a great job,
Thank
but
you.
you didn't defend my Packers enough. We'll talk about that later.
I was honest about our Packers.
Yeah. Greatest team of all time. That's what you should have said. But I come in here, he's texting me. I'm in church at the time, and he's texting me, just trying to figure out how to get this up.
Yeah.
And it's one button, folks. It is one button. That's all he had to turn on the TV and push the button.
It didn't work.
I come in.
It's why I tell you, like I do, go to church on Saturday night, because then you can help me.
You forgot to tell me on Saturday that you were doing this, so I forgot to help you set up. So I will take the blame for that. But you come in and just literally sit here. Yet that camera's messed up. That camera's messed up. That one's messed up.
I didn't touch
the
them.
Soundboard, which I know you wouldn't touch,
No.
is somehow jacked up. I put on my headphones and get blasted with sound. The computers are unplugged. It's like a tornado came through here.
God telling you, what were you doing texting during the sermon?
That's true. I got mean mugged by a priest. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was doing it from my watch and clearly got caught. But anybody that has a father, I think, knows. And you're a smart guy. That's what bugs me. You are extremely intelligent. And I'm literally just saying, line by line, all you have to do is push this button.
I did that line by line. It didn't work.
I came in, by the way, to the studio after he was done destroying it and got it to work in 0.2 seconds.
I hate you.
Just want to put that out there. But on to sports. The Jets. Let's just say that game might as well have been played in Paris, because Achilles was clearly shot with an arrow.
Yeah, 4 people other than me understood that reference.
It's the Iliad.
I understand that. And they dipped Hercules in the River Styx.
Achilles,
sorry, in the River
by
Styx.
the heel.
Need to joke wrong.
But it was Paris that shot Achilles with the bow.
It was Gutekunst
Era.
that shot
Well, I think
Rodgers.
Gutekunst was Apollo in guiding that arrow exactly to where.
Listen,
if there are 4 people on this show that understand what I'm saying half the time, listen, I'm excited.
Here's my question. All seriousness. What did either Namath or some random Jet fan sold their soul to win the third Super Bowl? Because the same injury happened to Vinny Testaverde
Right.
several years before.
Chad Pennington.
I feel bad for him. I really feel bad for Aaron Rodgers, because I love him.
I do too. I do
think
too.
I think deep down he's a really good dude.
I think he's a great dude. I think he can be misguided on some of the things he talks about. But deep down, I really believe he's a good soul. I mean, the way he treats Jordan Love, the way he's been with Zach Wilson,
The
you
way
don't
he's
do that if
been
you're an
with
asshole.
random fans on the Miracle Mile in Chicago, where he just walked with a kid for several blocks.
He's a really good guy, and I want to see him succeed. And this sucks. But from a dark humor side, just the timing of that, with all the hype, the hard knocks, all the talk, the fact that he gets hurt on the 4th play is really funny.
All the hype, all the dollars, the millions of dollars the NFL
All of it.
invested in this.
All of it. And 4 plays in, it's done.
Okay,
That's really funny.
On a serious note, here's my question.
Yeah.
Should field turf be outlawed and just put in natural grass at this point?
Man, I don't know if he gets hurt at Lambeau Field. I really don't. For those of you that don't know, the Jets are doing and the Giants, I should say too, because it's their stadium.
Right.
They put in a new turf this year, and the new turf, it's made out of rubber and sand, but I don't know, it's something different with it. But basically, it's been raining all day, it became compact, and there's only concrete under that turf. There's not dirt. It is concrete, followed by sand, followed by rubber, followed by fake grass. That is what's there. And if you watch that play, it is clear that his toe got stuck.
Well, his heel got stuck.
His foot did. I mean, his toe was up, but his cleats got stuck, which caused, instead of what naturally would happen on grass, which the dirt would give way and you'd slip.
It had rained the whole day before.
It held on to his foot, and that is why he got hurt.
Sand compacts. Dirt would have been muddy. The track wouldn't have been a good field.
No, he would have slipped. His ankle would have done something different. He may have sprained his ankle in that situation, but he probably would have been fine.
And in this,
normally he jumps and his feet are up, and he could not get up. That motion, and plus the weight of him and the guy falling down on it, is what caused that thing to snap.
We were texting back and forth when that happened. I was hoping for an ankle, but I was almost sure it was his Achilles. And
you knew it was Achilles. You watched the replay and you saw the sock move.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew right away.
It was a major tear, by the way. It's been announced.
Well, he ripped the thing off. I mean, it's the Kobe Bryant injury, if you remember when that happened.
So
Rodgers, shades flew up.
Rodgers is now going to be 40 years old later on this season.
Yeah, he'll be 41 next year.
It's one thing to rehab so you can walk and lead a regular life.
Yeah.
It's another thing to rehab to come back and be a world-class athlete.
He'll be back next year. He'll be back playing next year.
I'm not sure.
Ego, man.
Well, if it's his ego is driving it, he'll be back.
Let me ask you.
Sure.
You're in that situation with Aaron Rodgers. Without all the other stuff, right? It's just you right now. That is you with Aaron Rodgers. At your age, too, like your mindset, everything. Do you just walk away?
There's no way in hell.
Right. I wouldn't either. I look at Alex Smith. He almost lost his leg. His leg was this close to being amputated, and he said, I have to do it. When you are a competitive person, and if you're a person in general, you are going to go out there and say, this is not how I walk away. This I go out on my terms, not this. He's coming back.
He's going to come back. If I'm the Jets, the one thing I do ask is that he does his rehab in the facility.
Yeah.
And he's on the sidelines. He's part of the team.
Right.
Not in California rehabbing.
I do feel bad for Zach Wilson in this situation.
Oh.
Because he didn't look ready last night. He looked better.
He did.
He did look better last night. But he's not ready. And I think in a couple years, he really would have been. And he's put in a tough situation that he really shouldn't be in right now.
He didn't look like Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace didn't want to play.
No, he didn't.
We still need to get me in touch with Mike McCarthy, get me in touch with Brian Gutekunst, get me in touch with anybody that was with the Packer organization at that time, and tell me what happened with Vince Young when he should have been the backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers the year Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Not only do they not bring him back, no other team signs him, and the Packers don't bring him back when Rodgers gets hurt, even though he knew the playbook, and no other team picked him up either, and he looked great.
He looked good in the preseason.
I need to know, there's two answers, and that is one of the answers in Packer history I need to know the answer to.
The other question being?
Why Ron Wolf didn't just tell Mike Holmgren to hold on for a couple of years because I'm about to retire.
There's three questions. The other one is why is Paul Horning's number not retired, but we digress.
I know the answer.
The funniest thing I've seen all day today was on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
McAfee asks A.J. Hawk if he talked to his good friend Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
And of course, A.J. said, of course I've talked to him. No, I didn't ask him if he's coming back. And McAfee kind of laughed and he goes, "You're not a good reporter,
He is not a good reporter.
but he's a great friend."
He is also one of the funniest people on television. I'm biased. I got my AJ Hawk autograph right up there. Ohio State fan and Packer fan. Clearly, I'm a huge AJ Hawk fan. But he is one of my favorite people to listen to.
He's a good dude. And of course, he was texting Rodgers as one of his best friends.
Yeah. We'll
And
see.
he's being very supportive of Rodgers.
Don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers comes back this year if the Jets have a chance.
Not a prayer.
That's what we said when his collarbone was broken half.
Different,
On his throwing arm, by the way.
way different scenario. A bone will heal in a short period of time, 8 weeks.
Just saying.
This
I
is
would
a-
not be surprised if the Jets are in the hunt and Zach Wilson is not playing well,
It's a major tear.
that week 15, we see Aaron Rodgers come back onto that field.
No doctor will clear him.
I don't really care if they clear him or not.
Major.
Mark my words. If the Jets
All right.
are in it
Mark the
by
tape.
week 15, don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is starting that game.
Sorry, I was all discombobulated there for a second.
You are good. I understand. I've been there.
It's never going to happen this year. You can't. And Achilles will not heal that fast.
Medicine has gotten better and better and better. And don't forget, who is the best foot doctor in the country? Where does he reside? Who does he know very, very well? He's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's the Green Bay Packers team doctor, and Aaron Rodgers knows him very well. Now, I don't know if a foot doctor does Achilles. It's
No.
connected to the foot. I
is
know
a-
the Achilles tendon is connected to the heel bone, and the heel bone is connected to the foot bone.
This is a very delicate and technical surgery
Foot bone's connected to the shin bone.
because they have to unwind that Achilles tendon
The shin bone's connected to the leg.
because it flies up like a shade flying up.
And then there's the toe bone.
Are you done?
I think so. I'm running out of bones.
It was a sad day. It was a sad fourth play. You didn't want to see the Jet season do that.
No, but there's got to be a lot of conversation about turf. I think there's something to that. You brought that up to me earlier today, and it just kind of clicked. It's like, oh, yeah, that is why he got hurt.
Well, look, they're going to pull that stuff out of the field because they're going to have the World Cup back.
Yeah.
And no international soccer team will play on anything but grass for this
playing-
reason.
They're playing turf over here.
No,
Is it all grass?
it's grass.
I didn't know that.
So they will be ripping that out and putting in grass. That should tell you something right there.
There's no reason that you can't lay down sod. I mean, you just alternate the weeks. Like, I get the Giants and the Jets played one day after the other home games, which I think is the first time that's ever happened.
No, it's happened before.
Has it?
Yeah.
I don't recall in history. It was new to me. But
I think they've actually played on the same day.
really,
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and they do something to change out the logos or whatever.
that I didn't know. If you know that, put in the comments below, and while you're down there, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get to enjoy this show as much as we enjoy making it. There's no reason you can't just alternate the weeks and put new sod in. Like, it's really not that difficult.
Well,
The
I think-
Packers replace their sod every single week.
Yeah, and I would think, Arizona literally wheels in and wheels out their field.
Right, they
every
have
week.
real grass.
I would think you could have 2 sets of grass.
At this point, it doesn't matter what the field looks like. You need it to be safe for the players. And if you truly care about player safety the way that you say you do, well, you just got your big star hurt. Forget money. What does grass have to do with money? It doesn't matter what the field looks
Oh,
like.
it has everything to do with money because the NFL just lost their single major
Right.
star.
Now you need grass.
You need grass. If that would have been Tom Brady, it would already be grass.
It probably would be.
But
Well, that's your big storyline, and he's done until week 15 when he triumphantly comes back and takes the Jets to the Super Bowl.
I will be-
Mark the tape.
I will be taking you out for a steak dinner if he's back this season.
Well, you're going to take me out for a steak dinner anyway, because I believe I also called Josh Allen
You,
not being great.
you stole that from me. I'm the first one who said they wouldn't make the playoffs this year. Do not take credit for what your father has said.
You said it first. But
Yeah.
I agreed,
Okay,
which
which is all that matters. in
makes
the
it
end.
my opinion.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
That's how it works.
Josh,
I get blamed for the sins of my father. I get to steal credit for his ideas.
you don't get why you weren't named after me. Josh Allen has not been the same since Brian Dable left.
No, he's not sliding
He
anymore,
doesn't slide,
which is weird.
He doesn't go through progressions well.
Not anymore.
And there is a cancer in that locker room.
Did you see the touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs? Number one of the greatest plays I've ever seen. Great call. Yep. He was not across the line of scrimmage completely. His left foot was still, or right foot was still behind the line.
Left foot, right
clearly.
Foot, mark.
Whatever. Yep. It was back there. Touchdown. Great play. Half the team went to Diggs to celebrate. Half the team went to Allen to celebrate. Those two did not come together to celebrate that play.
There's trouble in the locker room.
There are chinks in the armor, and I don't think they're creating the statue of David with it.
Bottom line is, Josh Allen can't continue to play that way. He can't continue to just take off and run, not go through his progressions. He did not look like a Super Bowl contending quarterback last night.
He didn't. One, I just made an Iliad reference and a Statue of David reference, and you did not give me credit for either of them. I'm really upset with you.
I ignored them both, actually, if you want to know the truth.
But that was the one thing we talked about in the offseason back at the draft day when the Stephon Diggs things came out, because what it reminded both of us of is the 2015 Green Bay Packers. You started to see those chinks in the armor, and it was small things coming out. Devontae Adams isn't happy with something. Or who is the other player at the time? I don't even remember, but it was little bitty things coming out. Offensive linemen were all of a sudden leaving the organization and starting to complain, which you don't normally hear from Green Bay.
That water starts to go through, it goes through faster and faster.
That dam starts to open up, and that's what happened. It ended the McCarthy era, who I know we're going to talk about it, but I am so happy to see him back to being the coach we all know he can be. But you started to see it, and it really ruined that relationship between Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, and it really ended badly. And you're going to see that same thing start to happen in Buffalo. They are not a playoff team this year.
I don't think so.
People are talking about that defense. That is the worst offensive line I've ever seen. And that's another thing, too, by the way.
On which side of the ball?
The Jets.
Either offensive
both
line
were bad, but the Jets.
Bad.
Proof was in the pudding that Aaron Rodgers has never known what it's like to be behind a bad offensive line.
When you've got a 40-year-old quarterback, you better have a really good offensive line to protect him.
No.
And they didn't.
Or yes, you better. Well, this is truly Bill Belichick getting the last laugh. Because what did he do? He traded his pick with a team that he knew was going to take that offensive tackle before the Jets, which the Jets wanted to take.
Oh, he stuck it to the Jets hard.
And this is the curse of Bill Belichick.
Yes, it is.
Right here.
Yeah, that draft, when he popped up just before them to take the offensive lineman, I can't remember which one it was.
Which tackle did that sack come from? The left.
The left side, yeah. He was completely blindsided. But he ran 4 plays.
Yep.
He was rushed on every one of them.
The 2 plays he dropped back on, yeah.
It was just, there's a lot of
real
trouble
bad,
there.
Tommy. It was real bad. It was a Rugrats reference, in case you're wondering.
Joe Burrow had a rough outing.
I said he would.
Patrick Mahomes had a rough outing. I'm not worried about either one of those.
No, Joe Burrow's going to be bad for the first couple weeks. I mean, he's still hurt. I didn't think he was going to play. I really didn't. But I said from the beginning, don't be surprised if the Bengals start to go 0-6 to start the season. It could easily happen, and I still think that's a possibility. Why don't teams build offensive lines for their quarterbacks? Forget drafting wide receivers. I get that it's a commodity to have, but if you don't have a good offensive line, you have nothing.
Well, I think there's a difference between good organizations and I'll put the Packers in it, but like the Patriots,
used to be,
like the Buccaneers when they brought in Brady, certainly the 49ers, they're big and strong up front because they have to protect the quarterback.
On both sides of the ball.
Yes, absolutely. But their offensive line is always there.
Right.
Green Bay, they change offensive linemen in and out a lot.
They do.
But they always have a good offensive line, and the quarterback always has time to throw.
I don't think in my lifetime they've ever had an offensive line that's ranked less than 15.
Probably that would be as low. But
they've always been the top half of the league.
The Jets spent virtually no time building that offensive line, and it showed. And Buffalo's didn't look good. Now, they may get better as the season goes on. I still don't think they make the playoffs, but
Now, the Bills have a good front four, and the Jets have a great defense. And so we can't hold it to that. But at the same time, you got to look better. The Jets are going to crash and burn at this point. I hope they stay competitive. I hope Zach Wilson's better.
apologize for that reference again.
Anyway, but the Bills are clearly terrible.
Well,
They didn't look good.
They're not terrible, but they're going to be.
They're not a playoff
They're
team.
an 8-win team, and I don't think there's enough for the playoffs.
They're not a playoff team. Do you know who is a playoff team? And
Dallas Cowboys.
They are. The Dallas Cowboys definitely looked like a playoff team.
Philadelphia Eagles are a playoff team.
They didn't look great.
The San Francisco Niners are a playoff team.
They looked really good. But let's go back. The Cowboys looked really good against a real bad Giants team. That team's going to be real bad this year. The Eagles.
Game 1. Slow your roll a little bit.
Listen, game 1 makes a big difference when it proves my point right. When it proves my point wrong, like it did with the Vikings, then it's just one game.
Okay.
That's how we play week. But no, I am, of course, talking about quarterback Hall of Famer number 3 and Mr. Jordan Love, who Mama Love, by the way, is my all-time favorite person.
Mama Love is going to be a national superstar. I loved her. She is Wisconsin.
She is every bit Wisconsin. Her celebrating the first down of the Packers. I love her. I want a jersey of Mama Love. That's what I want.
The better the Packers do, the bigger a star she's going to be.
Oh,
there are TV commercials.
She's our new mascot.
There are TV commercials in her future.
Yeah, Mama Love will be to the Packers what Kelsey's mom was to the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Greg Olson tagged her with that name on Sunday, and that.
Listen, I said it first. I want to make that point.
We weren't on the air.
I know, but I did say it first. But Greg Olson read my mind and tagged her Mama Love, and that is she's a former police officer, California Highway Patrol officer.
Yes,
I didn't know that. His dad was a police officer too. Just a blue collar family. Has 2 sisters.
Well, I think
down-to-earth kid. I love this kid. I really do.
He's done. I mean, his upbringing was obviously outstanding.
It was.
Because he's come in. He's been a class act since the day he walked into a giant shit show in Green Bay.
And listen, he had shit show in his life. You know, he had a tough situation, and you know, his dad killed himself. Like that happened, and so he's dealt with hardship. He was the only man left in that family, and as a young kid, he had to step up and be the man of that family, and he's handled this well, and he's handled this extremely well, and I want this kid to succeed.
Oh,
because he just seems like the best person on the planet.
He does, and he obviously took lessons well because he looked like a different quarterback.
His mom got into his ear and said, "Wait, wait,"
and he did.
He did,
and what I liked about it, again from my perspective, one game. I'm not making judgments, but for that first game, the game wasn't too big for him. It wasn't too fast for him. He was in control, and he had the respect of every Packer player on that team.
You just named the things I was looking for. We talked about it last week. What was I looking for with Jordan Love? I wanted to see him have pocket presence, which on that touchdown,
I thought he was sacked.
He was down and found a way to zip that ball through. I wanted to see he had control of the offense, which he clearly has control of that offense. I wanted to see him go off progressions, which I don't think he didn't look at 5 receivers unless the guy was wide open any time. And I wanted to see him have that respect of his teammates, which he clearly does. What I didn't expect was a Hall of Fame performance. 3 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown where he ran people over going for a first down. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. He already has addressed that.
Has he?
Yeah.
You slide. Don't do that. We are relying on you now. You are our next Hall of Famer, and we need you to live up to that. But we have gone back to back to back.
We have not gone back to back yet.
Back to back to back. His deep ball needs work, and that'll come with time. Rodgers didn't have a deep ball. That touch. What a cannon that guy's got.
He's got a cannon. Here's the thing. He throws a ball that floats at times. There were a couple that really floated that as the season goes on, he's got to work on his precision to the out routes.
He does. He needs to get where the receiver can catch it.
And only him. He's got to throw it on the correct side of the body. If a guy is going for the line, that's where that ball's got to be.
Yep.
The other thing, it was a clever play that won the touchdown to Aaron Jones, which it was a wide screen.
Yeah.
That ball took forever to get there.
Because he sold it.
I understand that. Boy, if there would have been a fast receiver, and now the league is going to have tape on him, and now is the real challenge. It's what I've said for a long time. Okay, now week 1 is in the books. He got away with everything. They hadn't seen him.
It was a bad team.
Now they have tape.
Listen,
the Bears are the worst team in football.
People forget that. Like, because they traded away that first overall pick so quickly, people keep thinking that. And I was part of this too. You think that the person with the first pick is clearly the worst team. But it was the Bears.
It was.
The Bears were the worst team in the league last year.
They were really bad.
And they were really bad this year. Justin Fields did not look good.
Either during or after the game, by the way.
No, he went straight into the locker room, did not come out and meet Jordan Love that I saw. They cut the game, but
Love was looking for him.
He was in the middle of the field looking for him. He wasn't there.
As a Packer fan, owner, I'm proud to have Jordan Love representing the team.
Yeah, the ownership just got transferred from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love with the Bears. How do you feel if you're a Bears fan right now? Or a Lions fan or a Vikings fan? Like, no.
This can't happen again. Not again.
No!
Well, and we aren't there yet. Let's see what.
Come on.
Come on.
No. Come on.
I refuse.
He's going to have his bumps and bruises. Those floaters are going to get intercepted at some point. He's going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. Aaron Rodgers won 6 games his first year,
which is my prediction for this team.
Brett Favre didn't have good seasons until 95. But Jordan Love is our next Hall of Fame quarterback.
No more rocket balls.
He looked the part.
It's going to be interesting because we're seeing LaFleur's offense for the first time. Here's my big question with the Packers. Aaron Jones is a stud.
He is.
I hope he's okay.
Trade A.J. Dillon. Give A.J. Dillon a second-round pick for Jonathan Taylor. Call now. Call now. This is like an infomercial. Call now before the deal expires. Call. Give A.J. Dillon second-round pick. Give A.J. Dillon a first-round pick. I don't care. Give a first-round pick. I don't care. A.J. Dillon, I've been saying it forever. When he just runs straight, he's great.
That's where Quadzilla came from.
Right. Plow people over him. Half his yards were from one run where he just ran straight.
Earl Campbell style.
Listen, people are complaining that he wasn't in the game. Clearly, they were trying to showcase him. And either he didn't want to be showcased or he just sucks.
Well, he's off the field, greatest guy in the world.
Yeah. Plays from Green Bay. Great community guy.
Yeah.
Great with fans. I like the dude. But this is business. And in business, you're not doing what you need to do. You're refusing to run forward, put your head down, and get the yards you need to get. So go and do that in Indianapolis, and we'll take Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
Because Jonathan Taylor is not playing a game for Indianapolis ever again.
No. There's 2 teams. It'll be Miami.
I think there's more than that.
Maybe Chicago now.
Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins just tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
He's done for the year.
Price of poker went up.
Price of poker went way up. The Colts played this well.
Yes.
They really did.
There will be a major trade of Jonathan Taylor before, and I'm predicting at this point that there will be a first-round pick involved.
There will be a first-round pick involved, and I think it's going to be in the next 3 weeks. It'll be before he comes off the PUP list.
We'll see. We'll see. Trade deadline.
The Packers need to do it, but Jordan Love, God bless you, man. You are our next Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay. Now let's see.
Excited for you to be there. It is Jordan Love for president. You are my hero. My kids are going, thank you. Because my kids now get to grow up enjoying what I enjoyed. I got Favre and then Rodgers, and now my kids got to enjoy the blessings of Aaron Rodgers, and now the blessings of you. Thank you for being who you are. You know, the Packers have a pope. That's the reason for all this. We're clearly blessed.
Are you done? It was one game. They have to play Atlanta this week. Atlanta's a decent team.
They could go 6-0.
The Packers.
Who do you got? You got the Bears.
Great defense.
Beat them.
Packers have a good defense.
Great defense. Against a really bad team last week.
Probably a top 15.
But you got the Falcons.
Yeah.
They barely beat a bad Carolina team.
It's on the road.
Then you have the Saints, who barely beat a bad Tennessee team.
Dealing with a loss is tough. Dealing with a win like this is even tougher.
Yeah, and then they're going to handle it against the Falcons, and then against the Saints, and then they're going to beat the Lions, and then they're going to beat the Raiders.
And then they play the Chiefs.
No, then they got the Steelers.
They're going
They
to
go 7-0.
They're going to get.
Then they got to bye
They're going to get punched in the mouth hard.
at some point.
There is a. I mean, I do think the defense is going to hold most people to that under 30.
Yeah.
I just don't know if everything is there to really put us up where we can score 30 points to win a game like that.
My question is, you know how Aaron Rodgers' number is going to be retired, right, in the next few years. Do you just start making the 10 at the same time?
No.
I mean, it'll save you on money, probably. You might as well just start, just say, hey, do these both at the same time, and then, it's out of the way. And
I just want people who are watching to realize you're having to deal with this for maybe 7-8 minutes. I've had to deal with this since Sunday. It's been awful.
Probably since Philadelphia last year, honestly.
Oh my, yeah, probably. Oh, did you see those 10 plays? Oh my God.
Did you see the whole game? Jordan Love, you are my new quarterback, and I am very excited
All I heard
to have you a part of the family.
I keep getting texted on Sunday. Da, 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 da. And
I'm loving it.
yeah, McDonald's, you owe us money now.
They're going to sign him, and you got Mama Love with him. I hope she's at every game.
I do too. The amount of work he had to do to get her a decent ticket.
He just called Justin Fields. Justin
never
Fields got his mom a ticket.
It will never happen again.
I don't know. Well, I mean, the Packers can only do so much with tickets. I get it. They're not theirs. Put her in the suite. She'll be in the suite, not this next week because it's Atlanta, but she'll be in the suite for the game after that.
She'll probably be in great seats in Atlanta watching the game. And
that's our new mascot.
I do love Mama Love.
She looks like every person in Wisconsin. She fits in well, and I love her to death already. She's my new favorite person. Awesome. She's our new mascot. On to college football. So some things happened on Saturday. We can quick run through the NFL, right? The Dallas Cowboys looked like I thought they would look. Again, point for me. Kirk Cousins had one bad game.
Kirk Cousins is being...
He'll still be back.
Maybe in a Jets uniform.
You think the Jets are going to trade for Kirk Cousins?
If I'm the Jets, I'm making the call. They've got their first round pick.
You think he's an upgrade over Zach Wilson?
Yes.
And that's another thing, by the way. The Jets manifested this injury.
I thought we were going on to college.
We are, but the Jets saying if he plays 65% of the snaps, we'll give you a first-round pick. You manifested this. Like, that's you doing this to yourself.
Do we need to get crystals on the desk here? I mean, manifest this? You sound like your sister now.
Yeah, manifest. Not manifestist. That's the festival of manifesting. We don't celebrate that. That's what.
Go on.
It's going to be an interesting NFL season. Kirk Cousins still going to be the MVP. Maybe for the Jets. We'll see. But on to Saturday. Colorado didn't look as good.
They didn't look bad. They won big.
They won big because the Nebraska quarterback was real bad.
Which one? They played about 14.
The first one, who gave up. They didn't force turnovers on Saturday, Colorado. They were given turnovers by the Nebraska quarterback.
Nebraska's going to be a very good team as soon as they find their quarterback.
As soon as they do, yeah, they got to find them first. I mean,
they will. They will.
The defense looked good, though. Matt Rule's clearly putting a lot of stuff in place. But Colorado did not look like they did against TCU, and that's what I was nervous was going to happen because you planned for a long time for TCU.
Sure.
They'll win next week. What does their schedule look like? I got to
play Colorado State next.
That should be a win. Colorado State's a real bad team.
Yeah.
You have Oregon.
That's going to be the real tester. And what did I just say earlier when I was talking about the Packers? Dealing with adversity is tough.
Yeah.
Dealing with success at times can be even tougher.
It can.
And they had a great win against TCU, and I think they came in a little flat.
They did.
Deon did a good job of keeping them on task and keeping them focused, but the adrenaline wasn't flowing the way it was for the TCU game.
Deon Sanders is never off, right? He's got an infectious energy.
He does.
And he's never off.
Nope.
It's hard to ask other people to keep that same type of intensity. And clearly, there were a lot of kids that were still enjoying the TCU victory.
two that weren't. Number one, Shador, his son. The other one, Travis Hunter.
They're always on.
Yeah,
they're always on.
And his Deon's other son, I'm sorry, I forget his first name, defensive back.
Yep, 21.
He was there. They were all in. This is going to be a great week in Colorado because Deon's going to be teaching all week.
Yeah.
He's going to use this, and he's going to get them mentally ready. Colorado State's going to have a very long day on Saturday.
They could. I think they will.
I think they will.
I think they will. Oregon's going to be a good test. USC comes to town. I hope USC loses every single game.
I know. You've made that point.
And then you have a pretty easy schedule after that. They got the hard schedule coming up.
I think they're going to have at least 2 losses in the next 3 or next 4 weeks.
Do you think the Big Ten is going to regret not taking in Colorado when they had the chance?
No, because I don't think Deon's going to be there long.
No?
No, I think he's
Do you think Shador getting drafted number 1 overall has the stipulation that Deon is our head coach?
I think is going to be part of it. I think Shador, Travis Hunter, and I've said it before, I think I love Mike McCarthy. I want him to win a Super Bowl.
He's going to this year.
Maybe. I want the Packers to win first. Yeah. But I do like Mike McCarthy. A team like Dallas would be just a perfect fit for Deon.
He would. I mean, as much as I want the Packers to win, I don't mind them missing a year, so Mike McCarthy.
By the way, so would Green Bay if they don't succeed. Please bring in Deon as your head coach.
They're going to succeed. You have your quarterback. You're going to have Hall of Fame years for the next 18 years. LaFleur won't last that long because the coaches normally don't. And you'll have a couple down years. But as long as we got our next Hall of Fame quarterback behind center, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
He doesn't have the cadence down yet, though, by the way, Jordan Love.
We'll
back to Colorado.
Back to Colorado.
I don't know. They're going to have a tough test. I could see them going flat against Colorado State. I don't think they will.
No.
But then you go into Oregon, which is a real loud stadium.
It's tough to play in Oregon. They run a tough offense. Deon will have them ready, but I think they could lose to Oregon and USC back to back.
They could. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
I do think they could win the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt about that.
And
Pac-12. We're not Big 12 yet. Big 12 next year.
That's right.
That's when all the moves happen is next
Colorado
year.
Pac-12?
They're Pac-12 right now.
Okay.
Yep, they're going back to the Big 12 next year. They're leaving with Utah. Colorado and Utah were 2 teams I thought would fit the Big 10 quite a bit. I would rather have Utah than UCLA.
Wasn't an option.
It definitely wasn't an option.
So
what do you think is going to happen with Oregon State and Washington State now?
I've said it all along. I think they'll be Big 12. I think the ACC is going to merge with the Big 12, and that'll be the other big conference in the country. I've said big about 12 times in that sentence, so I apologize.
There's a lot of bigs out there.
There was.
I mean, the SEC just needs to become the big SEC and call
pretty
it
much and call it a day. But I think the ACC and the Big 12 are going to merge. Washington State.
You think the Big 12 and the ACC are going to merge?
I do, because there's the 2 last standing conferences with real power in them. The Big 12 has to expand in order to remain relevant. They've done a great job.
They have.
And you bring I still think Clemson, Florida State,
and North Carolina
probably leave and join the Big 10
with Notre Dame.
Or
without.
One of the 2. But they're going to go, and so you've got the rest of these teams sitting there. They would fit with the Big 12. Then you've got a large, fairly national conference, especially if you bring in Washington State.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to compete with the SEC and the Big 10.
You're right. That makes sense. My question is, okay, off to this because squirrel moment for fun just for a minute, and then I'm going to get into the dumbest fans in all of college football. But say Notre Dame, speaking of dumb, say Notre Dame doesn't come to the Big 10. They'll end up in the Big 12 at that point. Right? But say they say no to the Big 10 just because they want to be stubborn, and then they'll be forced into a conference later on and the Big 10 won't take them. Who is the other team you grab then? Because Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, I think are solid. I think that's going to be announced next year, and they'll come in 2026.
I've said Miami for a long time.
I don't think Miami's on the table. Miami's on the table because they won't build a new stadium.
Virginia's.
We said Virginia, but that's a basketball school, and you've made that point several times.
And I still think Tony Bennett may end up back in Wisconsin at some point.
He could.
But you got to look at the Big Ten is made up of big state schools, including Rutgers, by the way.
which is the state school.
It is.
Did not know that. Learned that last week.
I mean, and you've got Purdue. And
Those of you, by the way, that knew Rutgers was the school, like the state school for New Jersey, you let me know in the comments below, and I'll say I don't believe you. But let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get to enjoy this show as much as we enjoy making it. But yeah, so what state school do you take? Because Virginia is a bad football program.
For now.
Only for now. I love having it. Anyway, they would get better. Maryland clearly did, but they were on the uprise.
Right.
They had some good teams back in the 70s and 80s.
Correct.
So they had a history there. And Terrapins is a badass name, and their helmets are great.
Their helmets are awful.
It's a state flag.
I understand that. It doesn't mean they've got
And it's one of the best state flags in the country. Most other state flags simply have a blue background. Good for them for doing something new. Mississippi's new state flag, by the way, is also gorgeous.
I haven't seen it, but okay. Anyways, they'll have to find another school, whoever that's going to be.
Well, Clemson's not a state school, right? They're in South
but
Carolina.
it's a
They're a
powerhouse.
private school, but they're a powerhouse. Maybe not anymore.
I think it's still are.
But who else do you take? Okay, Virginia's on the table.
Yes.
Do you get Washington State?
No.
Do you get Oregon State?
Definitely no. I take Washington State beforehand, but is Washington State a product of the current coach they have? Because they've always been okay. I mean,
Washington State was pretty. I mean, they're always a decent program.
Decent.
You know, they're like the Badgers. You know, they're always have a
Ups and-
chance, but they're
and
never
downs.
really great.
You're going to have to search out another team. Off the top of my head, I mean, I don't think you take Duke.
No, probably not.
Uh,
The football program had a big win.
They did.
Duke would make sense because it goes with North Carolina.
Sure.
Like, I get that. It's a basketball school. But I don't know if they're going to be a good basketball school much longer.
They've got a huge rebuilding. Don't forget, though, any school that, and this is the reason why Clemson and Florida State want to come to the Big Ten, because the money is so unbelievably good and going to get better.
You take a Syracuse? I'd rather take a Duke than a Syracuse.
No, you got Pittsburgh sitting out there. You weren't going to
You're
take.
not going to take Pitt.
You're not going to take Pitt anymore.
Virginia makes sense.
It's the only one that seems to make sense. Big state.
It's Virginia or Miami or Notre Dame. Notre Dame would be the one that you want.
Right.
Miami would have to build a new stadium on campus, and I just don't think they will do that.
Well, I mean, it'd be tough to do that. I mean, that school is pretty landlocked down there.
Yeah, but they have a lot of money to buy other things out.
Sure, they do.
And one hurricane, I mean, it's done. Where do you go get Hawaii?
No. You're not going to go and get Hawaii. I mean, Utah would have been my choice.
Yeah, but that's not an option anymore. They're in the
And
Big 12.
if
They're
I'm
happy
Notre
there.
Dame, this is specifically for you, Notre Dame fans. Maybe I go to the Big 12 because then I can dominate and I'll be in the playoffs every year.
Not with the teams they got going in there. That all of a sudden became a decent conference.
It's a decent conference, and it will be the third largest conference in the country. They're going to have their own network.
Yeah.
The commissioner there has done an outstanding job.
We saw the writing on the wall.
Yes.
And after Texas and Oklahoma left, they said, great, we don't need you. We'll figure this out.
And he saved the conference.
He did.
And-
He did. Unlike the Pac-12
Right.
commissioner. That got bad in a hurry. I want to talk about the dumbest fans in college football. And I'm not talking
I'm one of
Just-
them, just for the record.
dumb fans.
No.
I am talking dumbest fans. Like, listen, I cheer for a world-class football organization. I'm not saying it to be cocky. I'm not saying it to be arrogant. I'm not saying it to be an ass, right? I'm being honest here.
You're all of those things.
It's true, but that's not what I'm trying to
Okay,
be right
okay.
now. But Ohio State is a powerhouse school, right? It's like Michigan. It's like
It's like IBM.
it's like Alabama.
Microsoft.
It's like a corporation,
It's a major
right?
corporation.
It's run like a corporation. You have expectations and you come up with plans on recruiting, right? That's being mapped out now.
You talk about offenses and defenses and special teams
Right.
as being
Complementary.
to
Right.
each other.
They all have to work together. Just because you play one doesn't mean you couldn't play the other. Just
Right.
because you play one, like you're competing against each other, but you need your offense to be good for your defense to be good and vice versa. And if your special teams aren't part of that too, you're going to fail.
Your head coach is the CEO of that corporation.
He is, and it's great. It is great. And so I get frustrated living here in Milwaukee and hearing these Wisconsin fans bash Luke Fickell, who is a CEO, who look how he ran Cincinnati. And by the way, did not recruit anybody higher than a 3-star recruit. He developed all of that talent to have 9 draft picks come out of Cincinnati the last year he was there. Yeah. And you people,
don't say
you people,
don't
you are a Wisconsin fan, right?
I have not called for Tressel to be fired for guys like bring Jim Leonard back.
Bashing, not Tressel to be fired, Luke Fickell to be fired to bring back Jim Leonard, which, hey, great defensive coach, one of the best, blah, 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 blah. But you have the most coveted coach in college football.
A coach who turned down Oklahoma and USC, by the way.
Correct. And will turn down Ohio State, I think, in the near future.
Yes.
Not if you people keep acting like this.
Stop putting me into you people.
Bashing this man who took over a program where your head coach didn't recruit, didn't have a strength program because he's not using a running back that simply doesn't fit his system, by the way. That was a leftover that he's trying to find room for that just doesn't fit into that system anymore. And he's saying things like, we need to play complementary football, which means the offense, defense, and special teams all work together. And it's amazing because you see those coaches talking on the sideline and actually taking control of what they have. They're focused on the field at all times, no matter who's playing, watching what's going on, or they're talking to their guys about what needs to happen next and then watching the game.
Those coaches are working 60 hours a week.
Oh, at least. And you are seeing intensity on that sideline that Ohio State fans have enjoyed my entire life, if not before. And that before. Wisconsin fans, even when your beloved Barry Alvarez was there, have never seen.
Luke Fickell comes out after the game and tells his team, you weren't good in that first half. Washington State outplayed your guys. I love Luke Fickell.
As you should tell your people. Wake up.
I'm telling my people. There's a different game of cards being played right now. This is not euchre anymore.
No, this is Texas Hold'em with millions of dollars in the pot.
Yes. And Wisconsin went all in. Chris McIntosh should have been Administrator of the Year last year for making that coup happen. Wisconsin fans better get used to the fact that we're going to compete for the finals now. We're going to be in that Final 12 bowl tournament, whatever.
The Orange Bowl, the Orange Bowl, right? The Orange Bowl is not good enough anymore.
Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl, sorry.
Luke Fickell is a different cat. He's intense. He's organized. Barry was organized too, don't get me wrong.
Different style. He was ground and pound.
Right. And this is going to be an air raid offense. Make no mistake.
Yeah. You're going to be bad this year.
It's not. What did I say a long time ago? If they qualify for a bowl game with 6 wins, it's been a great year.
Yeah.
Because his guys aren't there yet.
No.
Yet.
Yeah.
The type of athlete he's going to recruit better. These kids that are coming off of Wisconsin farms and small towns in Wisconsin to play for the University of Wisconsin better be ready for a doctorate degree in professionalism, because anything left is not going to be acceptable. This is not, well, if we get to the Rose Bowl, we did it well, have another beer.
Listen,
not that style.
These kids coming off the farm aren't going to make the team anymore. They're going to have to go and play for Minnesota and Iowa. You're getting
not sure of that.
Big. There's going to be a couple of them, don't get me wrong. There's good players that come out of Wisconsin, right? But it is a J.J. Watt. Joe Thomas.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt. That's the same family. Doesn't count.
Yeah, it does.
Joe Thomas. You've had some good players. Jim Leonard. He was a very good player.
Raylan
Allen. Very, very good. Jonathan Taylor.
Raylan Allen. Ches Malucci completely bought in.
Yes.
And to their credit,
ready to go.
They're carrying
you people, your fandom over there saying we need to get rid of Luke Fickell because of one bad game. By the way, Jim Leonard lost 3 games as your head coach with that team.
But he's a hometown boy.
Yeah. Time to wake up.
Yes.
You got a real-time coach. And you know what, guys? All you Wisconsin fans out there, if you don't want him, Ryan Day's not going to be there forever. We'll gladly take him home. We'll call him, say time to come home, and we'll win a bunch of national championships, and you guys can go and enjoy your Rose Bowl once every 10 years. Dumb fans. Dumb fans. Dumb fans.
Well, you're going to be fun to walk through a grocery store with now.
Dumb fans. All of you. All of you. Anyone that says, I wish Jim Leonard was still our head coach, you're a dumb fan. Don't talk to me.
Are you done?
And I don't want to hear, by the way, in 3 years when you guys are competing for a national championship, how excited you are to have Luke Fickell. I don't want to hear it.
From those people.
Dumb fans. Wisconsin fans are dumb fans.
All right, before we close the show and go to the last word, there's rumors around that there's going to be some huge news in the PGA.
Yeah.
We will be happy to bring it to you. We're going to just tease it a little bit here. We got wind of something that's happening, and just stand by for what could be an unbelievably major announcement.
You may happen
to the PGA Tour.
You may happen to hear it here first.
You might.
Folks.
You might. So just hold your breath for that. There's the tease. You usually do that a lot better.
I don't know. I learned from the best. Normally I only say that when I want something from you, but I mean it this time. Just don't mess with my studio anymore, please.
I'm not going to touch your studio.
Please don't mess with the studio anymore. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. But as you all know from watching this show and from conversations with your own dad, you cannot have a conversation with your father without your dad getting the last word. So, sir, it is all you.
Well, we had something about dumb fans rooting for other people. I'm going to go after some of my own, the Packer fans that are out there who are cheering the fact that Aaron Rodgers got hurt last night. Shame on you isn't strong enough. Aaron Rodgers brought the Packers a world championship. He was competitive for years and years and years, and he was a good dude. He was a good guy and a great representative of the Packers for his entire tenure. He got hurt badly, and I am praying for his quick recovery. I hope he comes back and play. I hope he wins a world championship as a New York Jet. Even as a Packer fan, if Packers can't win it, I want Aaron Rodgers to do it. If you're a fan of a certain team, don't go out of your way to wish bad on anybody in any situation in life. Never wish bad on people. Never cheer when something bad happens to somebody else. It's a bad look on you. Aaron Rodgers, thoughts and prayers from Sports Talk with Dad. I hope you recover very quickly. Can't wait to see you on the field, closing out your career in a championship way, the way a champion should close it out.
I always love hearing last words when you're really intense because you move the table and all the bobbleheads start to shake. That's when I know you got a real good last word going. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. This has been Sports Talk with Dad. We can't wait to see you next time.
Bye, everybody.